emotional healing. A big part of emotional healing that we don't really talk about is the whole aspect of emotional intelligence. Half the time, most of us, we don't know what we're doing. We have no clue. And we're not even aware of how our childhood experiences would have affected us and are having an impact on how we behave and how we show up now. I wouldn't say I have been the poster child for waiting long periods of time before moving into a new relationship. I was still very much ruminating over the failure of the previous relationship. I was very much angry, very much upset, very much hurt. And it took me some time to get over that emotional pain. I would say it is important to rid yourself of those things before moving into a new relationship. Yo. Good morning, friends and family. You don't know it's your boy Darren coming at you again with some more from the worst relationship advice ever, right? And today we'll be looking at the topic of emotional healing. What does that mean? What does that look like? You may have heard me allude to this topic in previous episodes, but for today's episode, we're going to be looking at the feedback that I would have gotten from a client of mine. Yeah, you see, every year for Valentine's Day over the past, I'll say 3 years now, I usually put on this competition where I share on my WhatsApp status some question that my clients have to answer, and the first person who responds correctly wins lunch with me on Valentine's Day. And I really do enjoy doing this, getting to sit down and build rapport with my clients. You don't know, it's all about building relationships, and I am big on building relationships. So this year, Valentine's Day, I linked up with my good client Sidonia Roberts. Yes, and you'll be seeing what she says in that interview. All right. Good day, friends and family. I don't know if it's your boy Darren coming at you again with some more of the worst relationship advice ever. You don't know, they are now at Shea Maria. They are Shea Maria, Valentine's Day 2024. So yes, I am here this afternoon with Miss Sidonia Roberts, my friend and client, one of my best clients, She is our winner for the Valentine's lunch this year. And we are here at Shea Maria. We just enjoyed some, what do you think the name? Shea Maria Mezza, and the jerky pizza. Right. Yes, we enjoyed that, and it was good, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, man. So we're belly
really
full,
good.
And we're pleased right now. So, Sidonia, what does it mean to be emotionally healed? And do you believe you need to be emotionally healed before moving into a new relationship?
Some people might not agree with me for this one, but for me, I believe I've had the experience, and this is a question of experience.
Mm-hmm.
I believe for me, when it was necessary for me to, based on what I've been through, I wanted to go through a healing process.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I never knew what the healing process would have meant, or what the journey would have been like, how long it would have taken, or anything like that. But I know for a fact I wasn't the same person I was before, and I wasn't gonna be the same person ever again.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed time to just work through that and to go through different emotions. So yes, the emotional journey was a roller coaster, and there was a lot of ups and downs. I had a few therapy sessions, had some very long conversations with God, a lot of journaling. I think for me, it was one of the things my mom recommended when it was that at the time when I had to go, when I was on that emotional journey, or through that breakup or whatever the case might have been. And then she expressed to me, say journal, write down what you're feeling, because sometimes necessarily talking to people does not help. And I did. And I have people who had my back where I could actually talk to. A lot of my friends, my girls from infant school days all the way up to now, and my parents for sure. They were really helpful in that, and I spoke to God a lot. But that for me was necessary for me to go to that healing. So the trauma from my past wouldn't have hurt whoever God was giving give me in the future, and that was completely necessary. And then I'm never sure what my man did like again. I'm never sure what I like anymore, because I was so focused on the person that I was with for that time period. Because for me, if somebody may not look nowhere, so that's just the thing. And then I wasn't sure what that journey was gonna be like, and who me ever like, what him look like, how him need to stay, if he physically look a certain way, if what kind of characteristics I would want him to have, or whatever the case might be. So yeah, we have to work through everything there. So, and then as now, I think I'm pretty good. I think whatever God throws at me, eventually I'll be ready. And getting back to that level of emotional stability was key for me, for sure. I know I kind of feel like I'm there. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I mean, certain triggers that I used to have in my past, I don't really have them more right now.
Right. So you'd say you have grown in emotional maturity.
Right. But definitely, because I feel like I'm at peace to a certain extent when it comes to certain things. And then like in certain situations, I've had past relationships, not really relationships, but like friendships that you probably thought they would have gone to a relationship stage. That you build those relationships, but you realize that there was certain things were triggers for you. I don't have those triggers anymore. Definitely more mature, more emotional stability and emotional intelligence, or whatever you want to put it that way.
Okay, cool. And that's very important, because I was saying to a friend the other day that being Christian and being Holy Spirit filled does not necessarily confer onto us emotional maturity.
Yeah.
And so yes, Christians do struggle in relationship as well, and Christian relationships fail as well as non-Christian relationships, because emotional maturity is something that is developed over time, and we don't necessarily get it from just reading the Bible or being Holy Spirit filled, But yeah, thank you so much, Sidonia, for your time and attention today and for answering my questions. I really do appreciate you. Sidonia, thank you so much for winning this year's competition.
Hey.
And
it's a winning year, That's all we're gonna do in 2024. Win.
Yes. So what are you looking forward to the most for this year? Winning?
Winning big.
Winning big. All right. Great. All right. So there you have it. That was me and Sidonia at Shea Maria. We had a good time, as you could see, and she shared her perspective on emotional healing. She said that she feels as if she has come a far way, and the things that used to trigger her no longer trigger her anymore. And I'm just now gonna, share my perspective. I've often heard that we should wait. We should take a break from relationship.
Maybe it's just time we take a break.
And how much time should that break be? No one has ever really specified to me. Some people say it should be at least 6 months. Some people say it should be at least a year before we enter into a new relationship so that we can become emotionally healed. However, I wouldn't say I have been the poster child for waiting long periods of time before moving into a new relationship. I can recall back in the day, I think this was 2017, thereabout, after one relationship had ended, I took the rest of the year off from doing any relationship stuff until January of the following year. That's when I would have started my next relationship. But that was because I was still very much ruminating over the failure of the previous relationship, which had ended in February of 2017. And so I was very much angry, very much upset, very much hurt. And it took me some time to get over that emotional pain.
Let it burn, let it burn.
And so when it comes on to emotional healing and whether or not you'll be ready to move into a new relationship, I would say yes. From that perspective, when it comes on to getting over the resentment, the hurt, the feelings of bitterness and anger, I would say it is important to rid yourself of those things before moving into a new relationship. Because from my experience, moving into a new relationship with those feelings still lingering, you may just end up bringing that up a lot in your new relationship, which may be annoying to your new partner, talking to them about what your ex would have done or what your ex would have said. It's evident that you're not over it as yet, So if you do sense that you're going to feel like venting a lot to your new partner about the past relationship, you probably shouldn't enter into a new relationship. You should do that venting with a friend or with a counselor. Get that out of your system. Forgive the person. Really forgive the person. Forgive the person in such a way that if you were to see them right now, you would be genuinely happy to see them. You would genuinely give them a warm hug or a handshake and say, hey, so good to see you. I hope everything is going well for you. Blessings to you and your family. You probably have little light conversation and then you keep it pushing. You don't necessarily have to be friends with the person all over again, but to know that you are truly emotionally healed after a breakup is you need to know whether or not you can actually see the person and not have any feelings of animosity within you. Yes, I would say, in my opinion, that's a hallmark of being emotionally healed. On the flip side, I think we become better at getting over a breakup or getting over an ex the more frequently we go through that. So after your first 2-3 breakups, it becomes easier for you to, heal the pain emotionally or do away with the pain emotionally. You don't ruminate on it about it as much as you probably would have before. A big part of emotional healing that we don't really, talk about, and I would have mentioned it in the interview with Sidonia, is a whole aspect of emotional intelligence, right? Where what you will notice, what I have noticed with many young people nowadays, is that they'll move from relationship to relationship to relationship, and they're probably not feeling the pain and animosity toward their ex anymore, and that's okay. However, they have not necessarily learned from their past experience what they would have done wrong to sabotage their own relationship, what they would have done wrong to affect their own relationship. And so they bring the same behavior, the same attitude into the new relationship, which then causes the failure or influences the failure of that relationship as well. And so you have this situation where you're going from relationship to relationship to relationship, and because they're no longer feeling the pain of the loss of the previous relationship, they think that they're emotionally healed when really they aren't completely. And that's the next thing. Are we ever completely emotionally healed? Is being emotionally healed, is it the same as healing a bruise or a cut? Like when I get a cut on my arm and that heals to the point where I no longer feel the pain if I touch it. However, there's still a visible scar there. I can see that there was a cut there on my arm, right? Does that mean now that my skin is fully healed and can now take on the rigors of being skin, And does the criteria for physical healing also apply to emotional healing, which when it comes down to emotional healing, we can't see our, emotional wounds. And oftentimes we may feel as if we're emotionally healed, but all it takes is a trigger. All it takes is for somebody to do something or say something that reminds us of the past, that now triggers us and gets us to react in a way that is not necessarily healthy or conducive to maintaining the relationship you're now trying to create. Yeah? But oftentimes we don't notice this until we're confronted with it. And so there's an aspect of emotional healing that I believe cannot happen in isolation. You can single till you're blue. There's a level of emotional healing that's just not going to happen while you're single. Or romantic relationships, your relationship with your husband or your wife can be immensely healing for you. It can. And it should be. when we get married, half the time, most of us, we don't know what we're doing. We have no clue. And we're not even aware of how our childhood experiences or even the experiences of our past relationships would have affected us and are having an impact on how we behave and how we show up now. We simply don't know when we're in that state of singleness. It's when we're now in the relationship that it becomes apparent to us. And when it becomes apparent to us, what do we do then? Do you go, you know what? I think we should probably end this relationship because obviously I'm not ready to be in a relationship right now. And you do have people who do that. But that's a poor reason. How about we learn and grow together and heal together? Wouldn't that be a much more powerful experience? Wouldn't that give us a much more powerful testimony to share with our friends and family and people all over that, hey, you know, when me and my wife came into this marriage, we were on different levels, you know, we were not on the same page. I was immature. She was short-tempered. There was all these things going on, but we were able to work together to get to a better place where we could actually live in peace and harmony with each other. You have many couples who do that, but then you have other couples or other people who will just throw in the towel, give up and say, boy, you know, I was not ready. I didn't have all my ducks in a row. But there's so many couples out there who make it even though they weren't ready. There are people who get married 21, 20, 18, and 40 years down the line, they're still married. Are those people better than you and I? I don't think so. I think they just stuck to it. It's not that they didn't have conflict. It's not that they didn't have difficulty, challenges. That they didn't argue. It's not that they didn't have conflict that was difficult for them to resolve. They just stuck it through. They stuck it through. You know? And so there is an aspect of emotional healing that I believe happens during the relationship and actually cannot happen unless you are in the relationship. Yeah. Now, let's say you're one of the people who give up, throw in the towel, you're like, you know what, I'm not ready for this. An aspect of emotional healing is going to be self-reflection and introspection so that you can identify the behaviors, the things that you did and said that would have contributed to the failure of your relationship. Because I tell you this, if your whole emotional healing journey, if all of that is focused on getting over the hurt that the other person caused you, and you're in no way, shape, or form thinking about the pain that you would have caused them, you're not thinking about how you would have shown up or what you would have contributed to the failure. If that is the case, then the emotional healing journey will never ever be truly effective. And you might just end up bringing old habits into your new relationship, which will sabotage your new relationship. And the saddest part is you may just end up still blaming the other person when really you are the problem.
I don't want peace. I want problems always.
You are the problem. And so that's what I've said in the previous episode where we're talking about femininity, that I believe each individual should take responsibility for themselves and how they show up. And I will be speaking more about this in the future episode and when we start talking about boundaries versus walls. But yeah, emotional healing, is it absolutely necessary for us to be healed before moving into a relationship? I don't think so. I believe when it comes on to the aspect of emotional healing that is necessary before we move into a new relationship, that aspect is bitterness. So if you have any bitterness, any animosity, any unforgiveness toward your previous partner, that needs to be healed before you move into the new relationship. Yeah. So that needs to be healed. However, when it comes on to or traumas, triggers, the things that may be a part of us, that may have been a part of us from a long time, from our childhood days. Do we need to work on these things? Yes. But I don't believe we need to be single to work on these things. We may very well be in relationship. And actually, if our partner can help us to work on these things, we may even strengthen our bond over that emotional healing process. Because I tell you, man, there is hardly anything more profound than when we're able to be ugly and messy toward our partner, and they still love us, they still embrace us, they still extend to us that unconditional love, that unwavering commitment. When our hearts receive that from the other person, being fully aware that we are not great, being fully aware that we are, really messing up right now, but we receive that grace from our partner, it really does make a difference for our own personal healing. So yes, big up again to Sidonia for, winning the lunch with me. It was good this year. And definitely to you, any of you who are watching me right now, if you are my clients, at least 2 or 3 times a year, I do a giveaway. You just need to stay tuned to my WhatsApp status and respond accordingly, and you may win the prize. It may be a lunch at a nice restaurant, or it may be tickets to go watch a play, or it may be tickets to a movie. It may be something tangible. It could be anything. Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for watching today. Yes, another episode of the worst relationship advice ever. I do hope it was insightful. Tell me what you think. Just write in the comments if you believe we need to be absolutely emotionally healed 100% before moving into a new relationship, or is it that we can move into a new relationship and become healed while we are in the midst of that relationship. Yeah? Let me know what you think. Blessings to you and your family. Stay safe. Ensure you subscribe, like, and share with your friends and family. Blessings. Take care.